Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. Morning, ladies. Today is one of those days after enduring winter. The sun comes out, it's supposed to be in the 60s today. You kind of wake up and say, what can I do outside? Well, the first thing I can do is get ready for dinner. The chickens are in there laying like crazy. They know spring's coming. This afternoon I'm cooking using the snake method. Kind of a medium cook, not all day long. There we go. It's egg central in here this morning. They're really laying. When I get a day like this in March, I always think, I want to get out on the fields, but it's just too wet to spread manure. I'd be sinking in, making a mess at the pile. That's going to have to wait. This is 2-year-old hay that we're feeding out now from our farm, and it smells delicious. Here, have a smell. I baled this hay right on the line, moisture-wise, so it fermented a little bit, and that gives it its nice, sweet smell. Cows love it, even though it's 2 years old. There's very little nutrition that degrades in hay as it ages. According to what I've read, vitamin A is the first thing that decreases kind of rapidly in the first 6 months. And then it's fairly stable for long-term storage. Cows are certainly telling me that they don't mind it. When I get hay like that that's right on the line, I don't have a moisture meter or anything. I leave it in the field for 3 or 4 days, stick my hand in it every day, and kind of monitor how much it heats up, and then I know whether it's safe to put in the barn. I got a little cleanup to do out here. This old thing right here. I think the fence is off. I feel much better. Geese. You guys are flying south. Just a couple of them coming in for a landing on my parents' pond. I gotta go and get a drill, and a crowbar, and a hammer. And I heard a ruckus over here in the pig barn. Let's go see. What are you guys yelling about? Billy, it's time to do your job. Today's the day that Brownie is supposed to come in to heat. We put Billy in a couple days ago. She's definitely interested. I hope he gets to work. She's giving him the hubba hubba nudge. Well, maybe. When they nudge him in the side like that, that's to check for heat. Well, I don't want to distract you. Go ahead and do your business. Yeah. No question she's in heat. You're probably wondering why this thing is out here. You've seen it on a lot of videos, and I guess I never explained it. These are old stanchions from a dairy barn that I bought at auction. They open like this. There were lots of them in barns around here. When we first started out our herd, we only had 2 cows, breedable cows, you know, females. And we needed a way to do AI on them, a way to catch them, and this was the way we did it. We'd put some hay in this little bunk here or something good to eat, and they'd come in and we'd close this, and our artificial inseminator would breed them. It didn't work out too well for us. Turned out AI wasn't the thing for us, so then we got the bulls and away we went. Never used this again. These old pallets are going down the woods where they can rot. I prefer rot to burning any day. The cows think they're gonna go out. Not yet. Yeah, the ground is still pretty squishy. There go those 2 geese off the pond, but they're flying south. I think they're confused. I don't know. I see them flying every which direction. I'll probably cut the top and bottom pipes off of that, save them for another purpose, and stanchions go to the scrapyard. Way back in the day when we used to use this, I had thoughts of building a sorting facility out here with loading chute and all that stuff. And I even started buying the lumber for it, and then I thought twice about it, and I'm glad I did because we've never needed it, fortunately. This old locust post has got to go, but I think these 2 can stay. That black locust post will get cut up for firewood. It's time. This is quite a fatty pork butt. It's got a nice big fat cap on it and quite a bit of marbling in it. It is my belief, and opinions will differ, that good pork should not have the crap cooked out of it and made into pulled pork. I've had pulled pork that was like mush and only tasted like smoke. That may be fine for cheap pork. This is out of those 2 pigs that we raised out in the pasture last summer. I cook it to 145 degrees. I don't pull it. I'm cooking this one on the grill and longer than normal. I normally cook them on the rotisserie inside for an hour and a half or 2 because it's got a lot of fat on it, and so I'm going to cook some of that fat off of it, probably at around 300 degrees in the kettle here for about 4 hours. There we go. That's a job I've been meaning to do for a long time. Can mow right over this come spring. Like I said, things that rot go to the woods to give back maybe a little of what we take out of the woods in terms of firewood. This is sisal twine. It's all natural. It rots. I tried putting it in the compost pile one year. It don't rot fast enough to put in the compost pile. Grandpa used to sit in his rocking chair and weave these strands in to make sisal rope. I don't have time for that. And our Christmas tree. You gotta stay in too. Let's take a minute here and take a walk. Yep, a walk. I guess you probably know my family's lived on this land for somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 years. And in some ways, history is best preserved in this woods. And I'll show you. Things that were in the fields, in the old barns, in the hedgerows, they're all gone because it's been wiped out. But down here, I can still see walls that my ancestors built way over 100 years ago, probably when they were first clearing the land. This one's really interesting. It's very wide, so they built each side, kind of were kind of neat about it, and then I think rubble just got dumped in the middle. And then we have areas full of treasure like this one. This is one of my ancestors' dumps, right here. And there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, every local farm, I used to walk the woods around a lot when I was a kid, had places like this where you left things that were no longer of use. Buckets, broken pot. And the nice thing about it was that this stuff really did no harm because things in the old days were made of things that could return, materials that could return to nature, things like steel and iron, ceramics, glass, wood, paper. They could come down here and they were fine. Everything is plastic now. When I was a kid, candy bar wrappers and potato chip wrappers were paper, so if they wound up in the ditch by the side of the road, they just rotted away and there was really no concern. Now it's all plastic, and if I can keep from sending stuff off to a landfill that can rot on my property, that's a good thing. It's one of those things, if you can keep the loop from birth to rebirth on your own land, I like that. Cows are all out enjoying the sun. Hi, Hal.
Hi, Pete.
What do you call people who sleep in their socks?
I don't know.
Tiny. You got to think about that one for a minute. Oh, that was terrible. Sometimes I even surprise myself. Alrighty, cows. Time to go out. Come on, guys. Let's go. Out you go. Come in. Out you go. Yes, little one, you too. Come in. You can go. Hillary and I found a much easier way to bed the cattle. I'll show you. We just hang the bale over the rail like this. We don't have to open the gates, drive the tractor on the bedding pack. Real easy. We do have to carry it a little further though, but it's not a big deal. This is the last winter we're going to be bedding with hay. I arranged with the neighbors to get wheat straw this fall. I'm the ripper and you're the spreader.
Oh, yeah.
Look out. I'm gonna let you back in. Come on in, you guys. There you go. Warden. One of the highlights of the winter for me has been watching the cows come in after we bed them. They're obviously very happy when they get new bedding. Even Patty's happy. Be nice. They're getting taller. No takers on the water. They're too busy eating their new bedding. Let's see how our pork's doing. Nice golden color. A cheapy meat thermometer will tell me when this is done. Yeah, it's only at 60 degrees. It's got hours to go. While we're waiting for dinner to be ready, I wanted to address a few things. A couple videos ago I talked about where to go next, and I got an amazing response. I could never have guessed the reach of the channel, the kind of diversity of people's situations that watch the channel, the effect that the channel has on them reflected back to me. I just sit in front of a camera, and quite often what I see come back to me in videos is only in the comments section, and the pettiness of how you empty a hose, or how you mow a field, rake a field, how you do your daily activity. That stuff honestly drives me nuts, and I had enough of that a long time ago. I just always want things to be about a bigger discussion, I guess. And that's what was reflected back to me. Frankly, I was just floored. Whatever word you want to use. I never expected it. I guess I've forgotten how different my life is than it was for me before I was on the farm, and the way that it remains for a lot of people out there in the world, and the respite that this place provides for not only me, but you folks who watch the channel. And you folks have helped me understand the meaning in what I do that was there all along. I had just been blinded to it, I guess, by seeing it every day. So, in terms of what you reflected back to me, this is what I think is meaningful going forward. I have a job to bring calmness and to bring security, repetition, rhythm to folks' lives. Not me alone, but in part, tuning into this channel gives you something you can count on. I have an obligation to be reasonable. Like I said in the last video, that's where I've always been. To bring reason to situations, to be reasonable, which is lacking on YouTube as well as in real life, I think. There's a lot that's really kind of out there on YouTube, and I'm not a part of that. I think my job is to teach. I've always been a decent teacher. Even in my old job, I liked teaching the young folks who were coming up through the firm, and I certainly don't know everything, but I can teach a fair amount after living life this long and having the experience that I do on the farm. Someday I would like to be wise. I don't think I'm there yet. I have advice once in a while and try to express it in a non-confrontational way, and that's a goal for me, to get better at that. I want to be inspiring. I always have wanted to be inspiring. since I started the channel, because I want more people to understand and want to farm at this scale, however they can make it happen. And I got back from a lot of people that they have made it happen, in part from watching this channel. That's a success. I think my job is just to continue what I'm doing and to understand that what it is, what I am doing is meaningful to a lot of people, and it reaches more people than I really think about a lot of the time. And that's more reach than I could have ever had by remaining in my old job or teaching at a university or anything else, like writing books, anything else I can think of. The quantity of people that I reach with each video is really beyond my comprehension. So how that comes into practice, the things that I do to convey those things, are a lot what we've always done here around the farm. I have no intention of ever stopping farming, just kind of gradually downsizing. But there are other projects that I use to convey those things that I just talked about that I think would give us more variety. Gardening. We're talking about starting the garden this year. Mechanical work that I do. Anything else that comes along that gains my interest, I intend to approach with the same attitude of everything else that I show on the channel, and hope that you'll all follow along. So that's what I got back. I hope I understood it correctly. You're welcome to let me know if I should have put a finer point on any of that. It's been 4 hours. I think this is done. I'm going to put this in the oven on warm to rest for half an hour or so. But I got to do the taste test. Wow, that is tender. It has a decent smoke ring on it after only 4 hours with no real smoke, just charcoal. Question always comes up, what are we having with this delicious pork? We are having locally grown mushrooms and arugula salad that Hillary bartered for at the farmer's market last weekend. So all local dinner. One other thing before I leave you. I popped in on Billy and Brownie multiple times today. It's clear that Billy is not doing his job. So we will be out of the pig breeding business pretty soon here. I hope you have a great day, a good dinner, and I'll see you next time.